Well, hello there. How are you? Welcome to my video. My name is David, or as the ladies call me, Ew. Just kidding. The ladies really call me Hammercock. Anywho, you might be sitting there asking yourself, who is this asshole and what is he doing on my YouTube? Is he going to hit himself in the balls? No. Is he going to videotape a teenage girl fight? No. Is he going to skateboard, fall and hit himself in the balls? No! Stop thinking such ridiculous things. I'm going to be lightly customizing this 1987 Yamaha Radian to sell. Now I figured that since I was broke, unemployed, our nation is experiencing a rather difficult economy where no one is buying anything, winter is coming up and no one buys motorcycles, that now would be the perfect time to start a new profession, customizing motorcycles. Perfect time. Anywho, there are several reasons why I'm going to be videotaping this process. One reason is I want to bring as much attention to this bike as I can to hopefully maximize my profits. Also, I watch all of these shows on television, how to customize hot rod and do all that business, but no shows are ever on motorcycles. There are shows for hot rods, muscle cars, trucks, and even extreme 4x4s. Now, okay, show of hands, how many of you extreme 4x4? Right, how many of you ride motorcycles? Yet, no shows devoted to motorcycles. Now, granted, I have learned a lot of good fabrication and welding techniques from the 4x4 show, but still, nothing specific on motorcycles. So I'm going to be taking you through this process, hopefully teaching you something as I learn myself. I have basic mechanical knowledge, know how to use tools, I've learned a few things here and there. So, hopefully, I should be able to do this no problem. Now, I started off with a budget of $3,000 for this bike, this one build. And now I'm done. Broke, it is gone. Just to give you an idea. This is what $2,000 looks like. Right there, that is $2,000. It goes fast. Now include $450 I laid down for the bike, some extra money in tools and materials. Price starts to get up there, but when I'm done with this build I will make sure to display an invoice and a total estimate of cost so you can get a good idea of what you might spend on your project. Alright, now there are a lot of things to consider before you even lay down any money on whatever project you wish to start. Like I said, I spent $450 for this bike. That was maybe in the range of what I wanted to spend. Now, when you go to look at your project, make sure you take a list of things to check, or at least mental notes. Look at what is damaged, what has to be repaired, what has to be replaced. Is the engine running? Is it not? Any problems you might notice. Now, when going to take a look at this bike, I'd had a lot of experience looking at vehicles, so I basically knew what to look for. I did make one mistake, and I did forget to check one thing, which is very important. You always check. You always check the oil. If the oil is brown, no good. If the oil is black, it could be okay. Now, I saw this bike twice before I laid down the cash, and it slipped my mind both times to check the oil. As soon as I get the bike home, I screw off the oil cap. There's not a drop of oil in it. That could be some seriously bad news. Is the engine cracked? Is it just a gasket? Did the previous owner ride the bike without oil? Now, the bike was not running when I bought it, so hopefully it just sat there for a long time, leaking away. But also what I did is I made a list. Since this is a 1987 Yamaha Radian, only made for about 5 years, I made a list of everything that I needed to replace, like side cover, tail cover, everything that I saw on the bike. And I went home and looked up on the internet to find out how available the parts were. And I did all that before I laid down any money. And you should as well. Now, also what you need to do is make a list of everything you need to buy related to your build. A list for the parts store, a list for the paint shop, a list for the internet. You need a list of everything you think you're going to need to build that bike. And that is when you're going to start getting an idea of how much money you're going to need. And you really need to get a good idea and set yourself a budget before you buy any project. Also, no matter what you buy, even your level of knowledge of mechanics, always make sure to get a service manual for your vehicle. This will cut a lot of time, this will save a lot of mistakes, and probably save you a lot of money. Now, I picked this one up for 28 bucks at the motor bookstore online, but you can get these pretty much anywhere, many websites, eBay. If you're having difficulty finding a service manual for your vehicle, you can usually find one on eBay, new or used. Okay, now one thing you also want to do for your project, for yourself, or especially if you intend to sell it, is take pictures. Now, I have basic 35mm film camera right here. I'm going to take pictures because I plan on making a book, so I want film. I also have my video camera, which takes digital pictures. I'll be taking pictures with that along with the build, pictures that I'll be posting online when I try to sell the bike. So make sure to document from beginning to end, and especially major changes you make to the bike. All major tasks, document, photograph, videotape. Now, the reason why I say I'm doing a light custom job is because there's very little stock on this bike that I'm changing. That is what customizing is, changing a vehicle from stock. There's very little that I'm changing about the bike's stock appearance. And then custom paint job. So the first thing that I want to do on this project is to mock up all of the custom pieces to make sure they fit. So that is going to be the first task, making sure that everything I'm changing about this bike is going to work. Then I'll be tearing the bike down, cleaning all the parts, opening up the engine and tranny, making sure everything is good. The bike only has about 8,700 miles, but it has not run for probably around a year. It was obviously dumped at one time. There's a nice dent in the tank. So, and especially without there not being any oil in it, I do want to check the bearings, the crank, the cylinder walls to make sure this bike was not ridden without oil. So after I go through the bike mechanically, repair what needs to be repaired, put it all back, paint it, and I will be done. So that is going to be the basic process. So the next time you see me, I'm going to be mocking up the bike.